is from Luke 13, 1 to 9. Turn from your sins or die. At that time, some people were there who told Jesus about the Galileans whom Pilate had killed while they were offering sacrifices to God. Jesus answered them, because those Galileans were killed in that way, do you think it proves that they were worse sinners than all other Galileans? No, indeed. And I tell you that if you do not turn from your sins, you will all die as they did. What about those 18 people in Siloam who were killed when the tower fell on them? Do you suppose this proves that they were worse than all the other people living in Jerusalem? No, indeed. And I tell you that if you do not turn from your sins, you will all die as they did. The parable of the unfruitful fig tree. Then Jesus told them this parable. There was once a man who had a fig tree growing in his vineyard. He went looking for figs on it, but found none. So he said to his gardener, look, for 3 years I've been coming here looking for figs on this fig tree, and I haven't found any. Cut it down. Why should he go on using up the soil? But the gardener answered, leave it alone, sir. Just 1 more year. I will dig around it and put in some fertilizer. Then if the tree bears figs next year, so much the better. If not, then you can have it cut down.
I've got some notes I've made for this reading based on a sermon by Clay Nelson, who was at St. Matthew's in the city. Discussions and thoughts of sin and evil tend to lead to judgment, guilt, and shame. When we focus on evil at all, it is on systemic evil like racism, sexism, war, destruction of the environment, and economic inequality as we seek societal change for a better world. Important as it is not enough. Our gospel today reminds us we must face sin and evil closer to home. It isn't enough to project it on the other. In today's story, Jesus turns the focus from those who have suffered to those who ask the question. If we are looking for evil in its source, Jesus seems to be saying, we don't have to look too far. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who was in prison in Stalin's gulags, famously said, the line between good and evil lies in the centre of every human heart, not in some abstract moral celestial space, but right here in each of our individual collective beings. Sometimes evil is doing nothing. So what shall we do about it to prevent our capacity for evil from being unleashed to harm others like Hitler and Putin have? Owning both our divine nature and our shadow is to live for others, but focusing on one or the other is only about ourselves. What ways and practices are there for us to integrate our shadow and divine imprint, a holy and lifelong enterprise? How do we care for our barren fig tree to become productive? And the question for today is, have you been given a second chance when everything seemed hopeless?